What is up, guys? I am Razdancy Aquino, and we are going to explore, discover the beauty of different places and their literatures, most especially the Antigua and Barbuda, Armenia, Argentina, and Aruba. Without further picking do, let's go! The nation of Antigua and Barbuda is located in the Eastern Caribbean, situated strategically in the Leeward Islands, between the Caribbean Sea and the North Atlantic Ocean, east-southeast of the Puerto Rico, near maritime transport lanes of major importance to the United States. Antigua and Barbuda, at the north of the Leeward Islands in the Eastern Caribbean, is composed of three islands: Antigua, Barbuda, 40 km north of Antigua, and Redonda, 40 km southwest of Antigua. Antigua comprises 6 parishes: St. George, St. John, St. Mary, St. Paul, St. Peter, and St. Philip. Topography of Antigua and Barbuda. With about 365 beaches on Antigua, further beaches of pink and white sand on Barbuda, coves that were once volcanic craters, and luxuriant palms. The country was an early proponent of sea and sun tourism. Antigua is generally composed of low-lying coral and limestone, although Boggy Peak among the volcanic rocks to the west rises to 402 meters. It has an indented coastline and a good harbor at English Harbor Town. There are a few springs. Drought can be a problem. Barbuda is flat with a large lagoon on its west side. Redonda is a tiny rocky island and is uninhabited. Climate of Antigua and Barbuda. Tropical and drier than most of West Indies. The hot season, when most rainfall falls, is May to November. Hurricane Louis, the first hurricane in many decades, struck in mid-1995, causing particular damage to Barbuda, where it flooded 75% of the island, including the main town of Codrington. Environment of Antigua and Barbuda. The most significant environmental issue is limited natural freshwater resources, which is aggravated by clearing of trees to increase crop production, causing rainfall to run off quickly. Vegetation of Antigua and Barbuda. Little remains of Antigua's natural vegetation, as the island was formerly cleared for sugar planting. Unlike other islands in the Leeward group, it has little forest. Mangoes, guavas, coconuts, and bananas grow in the southwest. Barbuda is well wooded in the northeast, providing a haven for wildlife. Forest covers 22% of Antigua and Barbuda's land area, and there was no significant loss of forest cover during 1990 to 2011. Wildlife. More than 150 species of birds have been recorded. Barbuda is a game reserve with a variety of wildlife: deer, wild pigs, ducks, guinea fowl, and a large colony of frigate birds in the mangrove lagoon. Redonda has become a haven for species such as the burrowing owl, which have been driven out of the other inhabited islands. More crazy stuff in Antigua and Barbuda. The Antigua racer snake is the rarest snake in the world, with only about 200 living. It is found on Bird Island and the island off the coast of Antigua. Barbuda is home to the frigate bird. Highest point is Boggy Peak at 402 meters. Now it's time for the most popular Antigua and Barbuda dishes. Antiguan and Barbudan writings, authors, and festivals. So we are done with Antigua and Barbuda. Armenia, you're next. Armenia. The general overview of their flag. The red one represents the independence and freedom. The blue one represents the will of Armenian people. And the orange one represents the creative talent and hard-working nature of the Armenian people. Armenia, country of Transcaucasia, lying just south of the great mountain range of Caucasus and fronting the northwestern extremity of Asia. To the north and east, Armenia is bounded by Georgia and Azerbaijan, while its neighbors to the south, east, and west are respectively Iran and Turkey. Exclave of Azerbaijan borders Armenia to the southwest. The capital is Yerevan, also known as Erevan. Armenia is a mountainous country characterized by a great variety of scenery and geologic instability. Armenia is also rich in springs and wells, some of which possess medical properties. Subdivisions of Armenia, or the provinces of Armenia: Aragatsot, Ararat, Armavir, Gigarkuni, Kotaik, Luri, Shirak, Siuni, Tavush, Vayots, Zor, and Yerevan. Famous authors from Armenia: Henry Troyat, Bulat Okud Zava, William Saroyan, George Ivanovich Gurdjieff, Rafi. Armenia Events and Festivals 2020. Easter Sunday 2020. Genocide Remembrance Day. International Jazz Day, Yerevan. Yerevan Wine Days. Dolma Festival. Mulberry Festival. Sevan International Music Festival. Gata Fest. Yerevan Tea and Coffee Festival. New Year Christmas Tree Ceremony. Armenia Food and Traditional Food. Dolma. Borag. Topic: Lavash. Zinyaluv hats. Basturma. Harisa. Cash. Manti. And La Makun. Interesting facts about Armenia. Chess is a compulsory subject in schools. Armenia is one of the oldest wine-producing countries in the world. Armenia was the first country to have adopted Christianity as its state religion, 301 AD. Armenians bake their lavash bread in underground earth oven. Armenia is one of the only mono-ethnic countries in the world. 97% of people living in Armenia are Armenians. So we are done with the two, the Antigua Barbuda, Armenia. Our next stop is Argentina. Argentina, you're next. Argentina, country of the South America, covering most of the southern portion of the continent. The world's eighth largest country, Argentina occupies an area more extensive than Mexico and the U.S. state of Texas combined. It encompasses immense plains, deserts, tundra, and forests, as well as tall mountains, rivers, and thousands of miles of ocean shoreline. Argentina also claims a portion of Antarctica as well as several islands in the South Atlantic, including the British-ruled Falkland Islands, Islas Malvinas. Argentina has long played an important role in the continent's history. Following the 3 centuries of Spanish colonization, Argentina declared independence in 1816, and Argentine nationalists were instrumental in revolutionary movements. Argentina is indeed a great source of valuable minerals. More important, however, has been Argentina's production of livestock and cereals, for which it once ranked among the world's wealthiest nations. Argentina is shaped like an inverted triangle with its base at the top. Argentina's varied geography can be grouped into 4 major regions: the Andes, the North, the Pampas, and the Patagonia. Language. Official language is Spanish. Spanish and Italian are spoken by over 1 million people in the country, and German, Yiddish, and Quechua are spoken by over 200,000 people. Over 40 languages are spoken in Argentina. Recreation. Soccer is nationally loved sport, played by most people in the country. Tennis is also played by most people. Families often vacation to Mar del Plata, where they can hike and mountain climb. Music. Mostly known for its tango. Tango was developed in Buenos Aires. Tango was formerly called milonga, which became popular around 1900. Other popular genres in are folk, pop, and classical. Sports. Most popular sport is soccer. Other popular sports are car racing and rugby. National soccer team has won 2 World Cups in 1978 and 1986. Most famous soccer players are Diego Maradona and Lionel Messi. Mano Ginóbili is one of 6 Argentinian players in the NBA. School uses a 1 to 10 grade system instead of A, B, C, D, F. Primary school covers grades 1 to 6 and is offered to children ages 6 to 14. Wear white uniforms as a symbol of learning. Celebrities. Sports figures from Argentina include Mano Ginóbili, basketball; Carlos Delfino, basketball; Lionel Messi, soccer; and Luis Scola, basketball. Argentine models include Agustina Quinteros and Cecilia Benelli. Quinteros won Miss Argentina in 2008. Clothes. Similar to the clothing of Australia, farmers usually wear a hat, a poncho, and pants tucked into boots. Gaucho is the name for the style of clothing Argentinian farmers wear. The masters of Argentine literature. Argentina authors and famous writings. Traditional food in Argentina, the top 10 dishes for foodies. Take a bite from everything. Diet isn't a thing you should worry about while exploring Argentina's traditional food. From the hearty asado gatherings and the gooey provoleta to the sweet perfection of medialunas and dulce de leche, it's a mouth-melting experience you should not miss. 10 glorifying Argentina festivals that acquaint you into the culture. National Parks of Argentina. So last but not the least, Aruba. Aruba, island lying southwest of the Lesser Antilles in the Caribbean Sea, some 50 miles 80 km northwest of Curacao and 18 miles 29 km north of the Venezuelan peninsula of Paraguay. Aruba was formerly a part of the Netherlands Antilles. In 1986, it became a separate self-governing part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Tourists flocked to Aruba, attracted by its white sand beaches in the south and west, rugged coastline in the northeast, and desert environment in the interior. The capital is Oranjestad, which also is the main port. Most of the Aruba's population is ethnically mixed, including many people of American, Indian ancestry, often in combination with Dutch, Spanish, and African heritage. There are few people of predominantly African descent. However, because unlike most other Caribbean islands, Aruba had few slave-based plantations during colonial times. The official language are Dutch and Papiamentu, also spoken in Curacao and Bonaire, a Creole that evolved mainly from Portuguese, Spanish, and Dutch. English and Spanish are also widely used. About 3/4 of the people are Roman Catholic. There are small minorities of Protestants and Jehovah's Witnesses. The birth and death rates are both relatively low, and the rate of natural increase is less than average for the West Indies. Life expectancy for both men and women is among the highest in the region and is comparable to that in developed countries. Aruba, long a part of the Netherlands Antilles, began to actively seek independence or autonomy in the early 1970s. As part of that goal, Aruban leaders decided in 1976 to develop a national flag. Ideas solicited through a local design. Competitions were reviewed, and from that process emerged the Aruban flag, still in use. The flag was first hoisted on March 18, 1976. Aruba achieved status as an autonomous territory of the Netherlands in 1986, but subsequently chose not to seek full independence. The blue of the field was chosen intentionally to match the shade used in the flag of the United Nations. The unique four-pointed star represents the 4 points of the compass, hence Aruba's connections by air and sea from all directions. It also symbolizes the island itself, the red evoking the red clay of its soil, the white border representing the white sand beaches that ring it, as well as the pride Arubans have for their island and their struggle for liberty. The yellow stripes stand for tourism and industry, which provide the high standard of living enjoyed by the island's people. Yellow also recalls the former gold industry and the brilliant yellow flowers found across the island. Cultural life. Aruba's long stretches of white sand and clear waters attract numerous tourists. The cultural center in Orangestad offers concerts, ballet, folkloric presentations, and art exhibits. Throughout the year, the city also includes historical, archaeological, and numismatic museums. The New Year's Day festivities and Pre-Lenten Carnival in February are especially colorful and popular celebrations. A quick review of Aruba. Geography of Aruba. The island of Aruba is part of the West Indies in the Caribbean Sea. It lies about 12 degrees north of the equator, about 18 miles off the Paraguana Peninsula of Venezuela. Climate. The climate is tropical, with an average temperature of 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Yearly rainfall usually does not exceed 20 inches. Aruba lays outside the Caribbean hurricane belt. History and culture. The first people to inhabit the island were a nation of Arawak Indians called the Quequetios, who migrated north from the Orinoco Basin in South America and settled here about 2,000 years ago. In 1499, the Spanish explorer Alonso de Ojeda made his way to this remote corner of the Caribbean basin and laid claim to the territory for Queen Isabella. According to one tradition, he called the place Oro Hubo, meaning there was gold there, but they changed it to Aruba. Religion. 86% of the population is Roman Catholic, but church attendance is much lower. 20th century migration led to the appearance of smaller groups such as Methodists, Anglicans, Evangelists, Jews, and Muslims. Aruba famous writers and writings. The most beautiful spots of Aruba. Top 10 things to eat in Aruba. So we are done visiting countries' different literatures, and I know All of us are amazed of all the riches and beauty that God has created. So what are you waiting for? Say for yourself, I got a world to see. Peace.